Can you take us to the moment at Schicksal Hospital in that Duffy room? What was the thoughts that you were going through? What was kind of the darkest parts of that?
Yeah, because at Schicksal, they punish you with booze and ipecac, and it's violently vomiting. And kind of on the third day, you know, probably at my bottom, because sitting there when you're staring at a clock and you're just vomiting for 3 hours and getting everything out of your system. You're like, man, what am I doing? You're having flashbacks of like childhood, like where did all this start? Why am I this way now? Can I come out of it? Can I be a better person? It was just a flood of emotions. And on that third day, because I went in there to save my family, my kids, my job, to be a better husband. And on that third day, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and says, hey, man, unless you're right, there ain't anything ever going to be right. So you need to focus on you and get your shit together because nothing will be right unless you're right. And that just kind of like hit between the eyes, like, I need to do this for me. And because I was looking at everybody else. I was like, hey, I'll do it for my bosses, for my kids, and like, I'll be a better dad. But until you're right, nothing will be right.
Yeah, it's kind of almost a badge of honor. I mean, you described it in your book. You're at a podium, and you'd been drinking and was giving a speech. It's that. I always wonder, like, when is the flip side of when it turns into something that's super cool and then it gets into that really dark place? I'm hurting the people that I love the most. When did that moment hit for you?
Probably the summer of October of, I've had all these lights going off in Vegas at a automotive summit, be in the hot tub, beers, and, we're 20 minutes from going to this function, and I'd be like, hey, another round of beers, we'll be fine. We can suit up. And one of the dudes is like, hey, you might want to slow down a little bit. And I was like, yeah. I had a lot of those. Hey, you might want to slow down a little bit. You might want to slow down a little bit. And it really didn't hit me when I got out of rehab. I got served papers. And that was like the reality of like, oh my, this is real. And I created a lot of damage and carnage behind me. So that was a big,
Was that like your window of grace, do you think?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because it was a big pivotal point for me of like, man, I could go back to drinking, but I just came out of rehab, thought I was finding myself, and I think I was finding myself. And that was a big pivotal point of, man, I could go back to drinking and go back to my dysfunctional world because now my world's really crumbling down with a second failed marriage poking me in the eye. That it was like, hey, I'm going to stay on this path of like, I'm going to make it through this. I'm doing this for me so I can be a better dad, a better person in the future. So I will battle through this. I'm not going to use booze. I'm going to use all these other avenues that, in my circle to help me navigate through this.